In today's lesson, we are going to be reading a fable. This story can be done in Reader's Theater. This is where we have our classmates play a part and act it out like we are in a live theater. What we are going to do today is I am going to read this story, and then in our groups later this week, we are going to read it together like we are acting out a play. Our genre for this story is a fable. A fable is a short story in which a character learns a lesson. Our text focus will be story lesson. In a fable, a character learns a story lesson. This lesson is sometimes called a moral. What lesson can you learn from this fable? Be thinking about this question as we read. As I said, I will show you how we will read this during our groups by having myself read the parts, and I'll use different voices. When we read the fable all together during our group time, I want us to really use character voices and make it really fun to read together. So let's get started. This fable is called The Wind and the Sun, an Aesop's fable. The cast shows the people who are in our story today. We have the narrator, the wind, the sun, and the traveler. You'll notice next to all of these names, they have a small picture and then a color. When you look throughout our page, you will see the name, the symbol, and the color next to a group of words. This shows which character is reading at what part in the story. When you see the book with pink, that is the narrator. When you see the blue with wind, that is the wind. The yellow with the sun, that is the sun's turn to read. And the hat with the green, that is the traveler's time to read. The narrator begins, then the wind, then the sun, and that is how we will assign parts when we read during our group time. Our story begins with the narrator. Sometimes stories teach a lesson. In this story, wind and sun have different ideas about who is stronger. I am stronger. No, I am stronger. That's enough bragging. Let's have a contest. I know I will win. I'll be happy to have a contest. Okay. I see a traveler coming near. Whoever gets the traveler to take off that coat is stronger. First, wind began to blow very hard. Once wind started, it did not stop. That wind is always so cold. I need to wrap my coat tight around me. Then sun began to shine from high up in the sky. It was shining gently. The air got warmer and warmer. Now it's nice and warm. I can take off my heavy coat. The moral is, it is better to use kindness instead of force. When reading for all of these different characters, I wanted to make sure I used different voices as I read. When completing a Reader's Theater reading, we want to make it as fun as possible. You can see here in the pictures, these students even have costumes on. Now, we may not be able to have costumes in a set, but we can still do different voices and act the part. Our text focus was a story lesson. It asked us, what lesson can you learn from this fable? On our last page, the narrator says, the moral is, it is better to use kindness instead of force. Sun and wind were having a contest to see who could have the traveler take off their coat. Whoever made the traveler take off the coat would be the strongest. The wind began to blow very hard, and it did not stop. This made the traveler cold and wrapped the coat tightly around them. But the sun shined from high up in the sky. The sun was shining gently, and the air got warmer and warmer. The traveler said it was nice and warm, and they took off their heavy coat. When the narrator says it is better to use kindness instead of force, they are talking about the wind and the sun. The wind used strong, forceful winds that made the traveler do the opposite of what they wanted. But when the sun gently shined down on the traveler with warm air, the traveler enjoyed it, and they ended up taking off their coat. This is a great reminder to always show our kindness to our friends, to our families, and even people that we don't know. Kindness will always show a way. As I said earlier, we are going to read this story together during our group time. So be thinking of what voices would you like to use for your character. Now let's move on to our next activity. This week we are working on a few different phonics skills. We are working on adding and est to the end of our words, and we have also been working on changing the y in words to I. Today we are going to complete an activity where we have to circle the word that best completes the sentence. We will read these sentences together, and then you will choose which choice best completes the sentence. You will circle your answer choice for all 6 sentences. Let's go ahead and get started. Sentence number 1 says, my glue is blank. Our two choices are sticky, stickier. Which word best completes the sentence for number 1? My glue is sticky. My glue is stickier. Circle the word that best completes the sentence for number 1. Sentence number 2 says, that chick is the blank of all. Our two choices are fluffy, fluffiest. Which word best completes the sentence for number 2? That chick is the fluffy of all. That chick is the fluffiest of all. Circle the word that best completes the sentence for number 2. Sentence number 3 says, this cupcake is blank. Our choices are yummy and yummiest. Which word best completes our sentence for number 3? This cupcake is yummy. This cupcake is yummiest. Circle the word that best completes the sentence for number 3. Sentence number 4 says, my hat is the blank of all. Our two choices are fancier, fanciest. Which word best completes the sentence? My hat is the fancier of all. My hat is the fanciest of all. Circle the word that best completes the sentence for number 4. Sentence number 5 says, her bird makes the blank sounds. Our two choices are sillier, silliest. Which word best completes the sentence? Her bird makes the sillier sounds. Her bird makes the silliest sounds. Circle the word that best completes the sentence for number 5. For our last sentence, number 6, it says, Luke tells blank jokes. The choices are funny, funnier. Which word best completes the sentence for number 6? Luke tells funny jokes. Luke tells funnier jokes. Circle the word that best completes the sentence for number 6. Once you have completed answering all of the sentences, you should have 6 answers circled. 1 circled for each sentence. This brings us to the end of our reading video for today. I know that we are ISIP testing, so if you have already come in and taken your test and you're watching this video now, or if you have not come in to take your test, I know you are all going to do so great, and I am so proud of you no matter what the test says. Just do your best and focus on what you know. I will see you later.